alert. There is something that is the biggest barrier to our success. And I want to make sure we go over this, because no matter what you're doing, where you are, what program you follow, if you don't get this, you are in trouble. We are all in trouble if we don't do this. Hi, I'm Auden Bush with Life Relaunch Blueprint. And this that I'm about to cover with you is the very first step. But again, please take this so seriously. And that was why I started with alert, that no matter what program you're doing, no matter where you are in life, this is a huge barrier that we all have to conquer. So, here we go. In today's world, likely this barrier is affecting you. It affects me. And you might be saying, okay, get on with this. What is that barrier? That barrier is focus. And this is the critical point. And what I want to have you pay attention to is, we're not going to focus on what you need to focus on, but what has happened to us is that we have completely lost our ability to focus. Well, maybe completely is a big word, but let's take it pretty close to that. There have been a lot of surveys done, tens of thousands of people finding out what is their biggest challenge today. And over and over and over again, what was that number one challenge? It was focus. And it's how we focus. So that's what we're really going to learn a lot about today. Techniques to do it, where to apply it in your life, and how to move forward so that you really are able to think clearly and make the right decisions. So, here we are. The successful person is the average individual with laser focus. I don't know about you, but this really spoke to me. I like that average person. And I mean, I'm not that kind of person, as is true with most of us. I didn't go to the East Coast schools. I didn't inherit a lot of money. I'm an average person. And so sometimes, when they start talking about all these successful people, I go, hey, I'm an average person. But if the average person can learn to focus, that is the key to our success. And the average person can learn that. We can learn it at any point in life. And you might ask, okay, well, why is focus so friggin' hard today? Well, there's a lot of reasons, so we can't really blame ourselves. We need to do something about it and control it. But it is so pervasive today because we have an overstimulated environment. We all know that. I mean, we look at traffic, we get stuck in it. We see what's going on TV, we see what's going on our smartphones, we see every place. It's fast. And it's shortened our attention span. You know, and I know that has got to impact our ability to focus. Overuse of special effects like vroom this, vroom that. Or you can go into any city and the big billboards with all the lights constantly going on. We are in continual overstimulation. And when that happens, what happens to the brain? The brain starts going bzz, 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 literally. When we hook people up to, say, like a biofeedback machine. And just in their normal environment, you see this bzzz, and it's going very rapidly. It is not friendly to our brains or how our brains need to function in order for us to be successful. Right there is our key. We talk about success so much, but we don't ever stop and say, what are the ways, what are the things physiologically that happen inside of me, that are going on around me, that I need to control, that really take me into the steps that I need to follow to make me, my life, the world a success. We can't change the environment, but we can take control. I want to spend some time right here. These are the solutions. This, when you do these things, is going to get you back in control of your brain and letting it be able to focus. If we don't do these things, our brain is only responding at this rapid pace to what the environment is putting us through. We can control it. So thing number one that I want you to learn to do is breathing. Make sure you breathe from the abdomen, from your whole torso. A lot of people just breathe from the chest, but let the air go through your whole torso. And now I want to teach you something in relation to this. I call it the 5 by 5. 5. So with the number 1, you breathe in and out. The number 2, you breathe in and out. The number 3, you breathe in and out until you get to 5. But you need to do that 5 times. So where you're using this hand to count your breaths, you're using the other hand to count the repetitions. Why is that so important? It allows you to be doing something, but begins to train your focus. Now the key to this is, and the magic is that as you are doing the counting, make sure you are touching a desk or something else, or better yet, you are touching your own legs, because now you are making your total self pay attention to focusing. Then be aware of where you lose your focus. Can you count to 3, breathing in and breathing out? 1, breathing in, breathing out. 2. By 3, you're kind of like, shoom, someplace else. Start over again, very calmly and peacefully. And when you do this regularly, every day, a couple of times a day, you're going to find that you're going to be able to get through 1 to 5, and then repetitions 5 times. This is extremely powerful, and the power is enhanced when you put your hands on your legs, so you have a sensation of aligning everything within you. So it's called the 5 by 5. Next, and this is what is really hard for people to do. It's called digital sunset. I don't know if you're keeping up with any of the research, reading any of the books, but there is a ton of research about what is not only happening with children and using their phones, whatever it is they use, too much, but it is true with all of us. And what happens is that we go through our whole day and it never stops. We get in bed and we're doing some more stuff, maybe scrolling the latest in TikTok or scrolling the latest in our email or whatever it is. No, 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 no. We cannot do that to our brains. our brains weren't constructed that way. Remember, our brains were constructed a long time ago. Yes, it's adaptable, but we have created a society that is moving way faster than the brain's ability to adapt. So we harm ourselves, we harm our success by not understanding this and then not following through. So what is a digital sunset? With yourself, with your family, or whatever. Decide on a time when all electronics go off. Yes, TV, iPads, phones, whatever. Give your brain, give yourself, give your family that, okay, now is the time to be friends with our inner being, our brain. And that is another very powerful way. I understand that this one is a very difficult one to do. Many people rebel with it. But again, it's our choice. Are we going to work with our brain, how it functions, so it can carry us forward with success? The next one is what I call intermittent digital fasting. And this is where we use our digital things intermittently. Because what we do is that the minute the phone buzzes, we pick it up. The minute an email thing comes in, we read it. And even if we don't, what research has found is it distracts our focus enough that it takes us away from being able to have that kind of clear thinking that we absolutely must have, to focus on the new project, to focus on a life relaunch, to focus on a decision, to focus on what you're reading, whatever it is. So put those things away that we don't think distracts us, but really they do. That is intermittent digital fasting. Then the last that I have here is called Mindfulness Feasting. And what is that? A lot of times people say, I really don't have time to meditate. I have a YouTube called Meditations for No Time to Meditate. And when you understand mindfulness meditation, you take anything that is right around you. Maybe you've got your cup of coffee. You just pick it up, and instead of starting to drink right away, you pick it up, you breathe deep, you look into the cup, coffee, tea, glass of water, and just focus on that without anything else. Now, these are always absolutely guaranteed that are going to get you into control of your ability to focus. I cannot emphasize enough how really, really important it is. I don't know if you've all ever followed Michael Phelps. I have. I think he's fantastic, all the gold medals he won for swimming. But one of the keys was his intense ability to focus. Everything else fell away. And that's what we want for ourselves when we're going forward, is that ability to focus. And we need to, guess what? Start now. That's it. Yeah. All right, this is a picture of how busy our brain gets. So the one at the top, where it's going bzzz, really, really, really rapidly, yeah, maybe parts of our day we are going to be there. But we can't stay there all the time. See, this is what has happened, is that we've made this demand on our brain to function at that really rapidly all the time. It wasn't created for that. No. What we need to do, and what will begin to happen as you use those 4 points that I talked about in the last slide, is you're going to end up between the second set of brain waves and the third set of brain waves. Like, okay, I can do this. I'm in control. I know now what it looks like inside my brain. And this is the way I want to focus. The results, well, they're totally conclusive. I mean, this isn't like some sort of a theory. And the thing that's interesting is because of the technology that we have today, we can really measure these things. And that's why the results are so critical. No brain fog. Oh, I can't tell you how many people talk about the brain fog. They wake up, they haven't had a good night's sleep, they're worrying about a lot of stuff. They can't sort of get that fog away. Guess what we do? Drink a lot of coffee, which makes the brain go faster. Okay, you do these things, the result is going to be clear thinking. That's I love. The other that people talk about is like, oh, well, my brain is just so busy. I just have a very busy brain. Almost like, okay, that's natural. No, it's not natural. It's a natural response to the environment that we're in, but we have to take control. And once we do, there's no clatter, and we have directed our thoughts. No what ifs. Because when we get into that fast thinking, it's like, well, what if this? Well, what if that? It could be a what if that can be good. It could be a what if it can be bad. Whatever it is. But that what if drives the speed of the brain. So when we get into focus, we can have that specific thought. When people say, I don't think I can do that, what they begin to do is give excuses. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too busy. I have too much going on in my life. But I can tell you, as a psychologist and someone who's 84, you never are ever too anything to start this. And if you find yourself using any of those two excuses, stop it right now, because all you're doing is standing in your own way of success. Focus is it's just absolutely critical. I can't say anything else. I want you to hear from my heart, from my soul, from my brain, from my everything, how really important this is for everybody. And I want to show you how does this fit in to our life relaunch blueprint, because we do have a path. But just like I was saying at the very beginning, the very first step, whether it's life relaunch blueprint or whatever it is, it always is going to start with focus. But you can't sit down when your brain is not used to focusing and saying, okay, I'm going to focus on this goal. And like in about 2 or 3 seconds, maybe even longer if you're lucky, all of a sudden it's this, it's that, it's this. That focus must be trained, and that is very doable. Then with the Life Relaunch Blueprint, which is something that can be repeated all throughout life, we go through the steps to ignite your power, to mine the special diamonds inside of you, to stretch your growth, to launch with intention. And once you do that, then you commit completely. And that is the whole process. But the point, please, please, listen to this over and over again on how to focus. That's where the key really is. Step number 1, always, no matter what you're doing, focus. Life Relaunch Blueprint. Thanks a lot. Take it not only to heart, but take it to your brain.